Today on the Diz List, we talk about things that could make or break your day at the Disney parks.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything at Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Robin. Today, we're going to discuss what would make or break your day at Walt Disney World or the Disney parks, like I said in the intro there.
Yeah, I mean, any of the Disney parks, really. It doesn't have to be just Disney World, but...
Right, and that's kind of why I said that, too. I mean, our main focus is Disney World, but, I mean, if you really look at the grand scope of all of the different Disney parks, honestly, this would work for a Six Flags or...
Yeah, I was going to say, this would work for Universal. It would work for any of them. Yep, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, mainly Orlando, I think, with some of the things that I have for certain reasons, but
yeah,
we'll see. We can get to that in
definitely for the bigger ticket theme parks, I think, is what our lists focus on. Yeah, yep. I mean, the reality is that a lot of the stuff that we talk about applies to Universal as well. So what happened in the world of Disney this week?
Now, do you wake up early before you go to school every morning and you turn on Good Morning America and you watch it with your two kids? I'm guessing your wife leaves earlier before you. Is that true?
No, we leave all at the same time. And
okay.
I leave.
My wife has to leave a little earlier.
I leave as Good Morning America is coming on.
Okay.
So we watch.
So Good Morning America. Go ahead.
We watch that same channel though. It's because that's the main news play. Like that's the best, in my opinion. That's the premier Rochester news station.
That's true. ABC,
13
right?
13 Wham. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you. I've been watching that one. I grew up watching that one because I grew up in the Rochester, and actually where I grew up we had Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse, depending on our cable. We also had Syracuse stations. Because my hometown, we were 315. 315 is the area code that's part of Syracuse, even though we were closer to Rochester. So we would get Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse because they're all pretty close together. And so that's why we kind of tell people we're Western New Yorkers. All three of those cities are really close.
At that point, wasn't it just 716 and 315, and then it doesn't matter anyway?
Correct. Yes, and there's so many people that they had to add another area code. Yeah. Correct.
Now we're all 585ers. Anyhow,
that was a really roundabout way to get back to my original point was Good Morning America. So Good Morning America is on ABC, which is owned by the Walt Disney Company, and they did a little bit of a Disney World promo this week. But and I'll say what they covered, and then I'll tell you some of the new information that we got. So if you listen to our show, you probably know what the current updates are, or you follow somebody on social media. So I'm just going to go over the stuff that we kind of learned this week. But they went through, first bit they did was on Thunder Mountain. Then they covered Buzz Lightyear. They said Zootopia has a new attraction, which we already know. And all that was just kind of things we already knew. I mean, there was footage that I saw that I hadn't seen because I've been pretty good about not watching the entire Zootopia. I think you said you have?
Yes, I've seen the whole thing.
It's fine. And I'm not like, with certain movies, like you and I are like that with Star Wars. We got to see it right away. We don't want it to be spoiled. If I see little things from Zootopia, it's not going to bother me too much. But I want to get it. Yeah. I want to see most of the thing fresh there. They talked about Soarin' is going to have an update, the Muppets update, and then they said Cool Kids Summer is coming back, which I'm not really going to talk about.
I will, because it's a big deal.
Then
it's a big deal.
Can start. Go ahead.
Did you see the deal that they're offering?
No, go for it.
So, first off, let's state some truths. People don't put on sale things that are selling, correct?
That was my second point on my list. I'm glad you're getting to this. Part of
Cool Kids Summer was the tickets / hotel deal. That was part of Cool Kids Summer. So Cool Kids Summer is just they're repeating the same thing. Like if you have a kid, like if I have a dining plan, then children with me would be able to dine for free. That's part of Cool Kids Summer. But the bigger one is that a 4-night stay and 4-day tickets will automatically be upgraded to a 6-night stay and 6-day tickets. So again, you don't put things on sale if those things are selling.
Yes.
So I'm like, hey, I'm picking a good summer to go, I guess.
listeners, if you're new to the show, Nick is a math teacher, and what he's saying, he knows this stuff really well. I mean, sure, it's linked in with economics, and that's all part of it. But when he gets into this stuff, I love it because this is not my world or my wheelhouse. So I like when, oh, look at your mug, perfect mug.
Yeah.
If you're not watching us on video, Nick is drinking out of it. That's definitely a math equation. It's probably a log or something, right?
There's logarithms. Logs right there.
I see it. It does say log at the top. That's my favorite toy from Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that show? I do remember that show. Loved Ren and Stimpy. Listeners, if you don't know Ren and Stimpy.
Like I was saying, though, like you don't put things on sale if they're selling out. So they're clearly, the numbers have to be down. I mean, that's a huge deal. 4-day stay. If you book a 4-day package, you're getting 6 days. That's crazy. That said, because Disney overcharges for everything, I looked at tickets yesterday to see like if maybe it'd be worthwhile for me to buy tickets through Disney because of that. It's still $35 cheaper to buy it through a third-party ticket place. Whether that's Undercover Tourists or Key Holder Vacations, no, Unlock the Magic. Both
Unlock Magic.
We are not.
Those are the only two I've used.
We are not associated with them, but like look, if you're going to buy your own tickets and you're not going through a travel agent, go through those places because they're cheaper. And it's still cheaper than Disney's deal.
Well, here's a fun fact on this. When we went to buy, and I wait. Don't get me wrong. I waited a long. I was a slacker. We had so much going on before Christmas, and I kind of waited until the last minute to buy my tickets. And I did my research. I went and I looked up the prices on Disney's site, and then I looked at Undercover Tourist, and I looked at Unlock Magic. I don't think there was, the day I looked, and I took screenshots of this too because I couldn't really believe it. There wasn't a price difference. The only benefit that they told me they were going to give me was that it was insured or something. Like your tickets include insurance. But I will say, so for listeners, not to have you shy away from that. Again, we're not associated with anybody. So I guess my point
we're barely
is
associated
that,
with ourselves.
That's true. It's been a crazy couple weeks. Anyway, my point is that usually you get a pretty decent discounted rate. And you would introduce me to Undercover Tourist when we went together. We bought ours there too. Got a fantastic deal on that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But my point is sometimes, do your research. Look at these different sites and see what the prices are.
Generally speaking, the longer the trip, the better the price of the ticket as far as those third-party ones. Shorter, which you only went 2 days, 3 days, whatever your ticket was. And because your ticket
2.5.
Because your ticket was a smaller ticket, I'm sure the gap was much less. But when you get out to, like, we're going for 8 days, so we'll probably get an 8-day ticket. We might only go 7 because we do have the party day that we're going to, not party, the hard ticket event. So we're not quite sure. But honestly, once you get to 7 days, to add a day is like
$20.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Well, don't quote us on that.
It's ridiculous.
It's a guess.
Cheap.
Yeah.
So you might as well just have it every day.
So my first bit was just a Good Morning America. My second, and we didn't even discuss this. You went right to it. My second question was, are ticket sales down? Because my thought was, okay, Good Morning America is doing this big promotion. When they do that, it's usually, hey, don't forget about Disney World. Come and see us. So you had already discussed that part.
Yeah, I think the numbers are really low. I do. I think the numbers are
bet
really
they
low
are
this summer. And honestly, the numbers have been low for summers since 2022. So I was looking at a table the other day, as normal human beings do, looking at spreadsheets and tables and stuff. But anyway, Disney World travel peaked in 2017. Then it fell off, okay, and it ramped back up in 2021, and 2022 was the peak of the revenge travel, they called it, and it has steadily fallen since, especially
except for 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no, that was still lower. Believe it or not, it was still lower because guess what? You got into the park. Got into the park. The parks were closed by noon in years prior. So, like, the fact that it wasn't closed meant that it actually was down. I know it was. I get that it was packed, but like it was still less than what it had been. So wait times in the park. So the table I was looking at was all based on wait times because obviously that's the best indicator I think of crowd level is wait time. You know what I mean? And the wait times have steadily declined, and so much so that like now when they say things like, "Oh, going in the summer, it's so tough," I'm telling you, you look at that. The only month that's shorter wait times than July and August is September. That's it. July and August are two of the shortest months or two of the less packed months. Partially, I think because of weather, people don't want to go. But the other reason is because like they're going elsewhere. Families are going elsewhere. They just are. And part of it is the cost. And that's why I do think you're going to see more and more of these deals pop up because they're not going to back off prices.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? They've raised the prices so high that they have kind of locked people out. But they're never going to admit that we went too high too fast. So instead, what they're going to do is put things on sale. And part of that is a psychological trick too, right? I mean, the number of times that people will buy something on sale that's not really a good price just because, hey, it's on sale. You know, like, well, it's buy one, get one. Yeah, well, you didn't need it. I mean, I do it all the time. It works on me too. Like, oh my gosh, I've got to get this now because it's a limited time sale. And it's like, yeah, they marked the price up 20% and then dropped it down 10%. So I'm actually paying 10% more. You know what I mean?
Or think of any of these online websites that we shop from. I mean, I could say any name right now, and you'll get an email every other week, every 3 weeks, saying 20% off, 20% off. Like it's always. I'm just using that as an example, but 20% off, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, exactly. So like, if it's always 20% off, like, am I just giving them extra money when it's not? Like, I don't know. It's like kind
Kohl's.
of the same thing.
Kohl's Cash.
I wanna talk about a couple of the updates here.
Yeah, sorry.
One of them is in the Buzz Lightyear ride. They show when you get into that tunnel area. Did you see how sharp that looks?
That looks really good.
Looks really cool.
Good. Yeah.
So if you hadn't seen it, did you see it, Nick? You want to describe what you see there?
I mean, it's so the images are much better. And there's targets that are moving around that are like so Buzz Lightyear was flying around at one point.
Yeah.
And then
and I don't think it's Zurg. I think it's the crab.
No, it wasn't Zurg. It was like whatever that thing is.
Or Spider.
Either way, it was crisp. It was not.
It looked sharp.
Looking.
Yes.
It wasn't blurry. It looked very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that ride. I'm really excited for that update. I love that ride anyway. So the update's gonna be great.
There's a lot of quotes about Thunder Mountain that I thought were really interesting, and I tried to type them out as close to exactly as I could because some of them are pretty interesting. Nothing's like groundbreaking, but the first one was the guy said, "This is one of the Imagineers is talking about all the updates." And here's some of the quotes here. Effects that haven't worked in years are back. So that's good. I mean, I don't want to go through every single thing that used to happen that does now, but see, that's good news that they're making that effort to upgrade and change and make those fixes. The Rainbow Cave is confirmed. He said that the cave is going to have all the colors in it in the start. But then this was an interesting one. He says the mountain pushes back at you. That's a quote. And he didn't explain what that means, but it was right after he was talking about being in the cave and in the Rainbow Cave. I found that interesting. So, I mean, we can take time and pick that apart, but your guess is as good as mine. So I'm just going to move to the next one and say I found that interesting. Now, this one is the one I thought was really cool because this one is straight to the point and telling you exactly one new thing that there's going to be. You're going to see gold on the mountain for the first time. So as you're riding through, I wonder I don't know if they have what kind of they're going to do with gold leaf or kind of gold paint. You're going to get to see that. I'm guessing probably like the second half of the ride, maybe before or after you go through the dinosaur bones.
I mean, your guess is good.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for the ride in general because I mean it's going to be they refurbished the tracks, so it's going to be a little bit less jarring, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
the trains, the cars are all new.
Yeah, I think it's great that they're doing this, right? I think it's great that they're saying we're bringing back stuff that hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just need to turn their attention to Expedition Everest. I mean, let's call it like it is.
Yes.
And find a way to make that work. The technology has to have gotten to a point where the force could be less on whatever support system they have for it. Because I believe at one point they were saying it was like the same force as a 747 engine. I don't know. It was some crazy amount of force.
I think when they open Indiana Jones and that whole new Tropical Americas area, that's when, if they're going to do it, that's the best time to do it.
Yeah, they can't do it now.
No, there'd be nothing left. I just think that that's the right time to do it. That opens, okay, Everest is going down, and regardless what they do, if they fix the Yeti, our advice is always, if you're not going to get the Yeti animatronic to work, do something else in that area to create it more interesting. We just think fans and having the Yeti's arm blow in the wind, we've discussed that a lot on the show too. But last thing, and then we'll head off to halftime, is Tron Ares is now in Disney Plus, and I've talked a lot of smack about Tron, but I am interested in trying it out and seeing it and seeing what the movie's all about. It's got a pretty good cast. I like the cast, so I'll give it a try. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? I get that there's a market for it. I'm not that market. Like, I'm not the audience for that. I might watch it, but the ride's great. Movies are like, whatever.
Yeah, and it's weird timing too, because if you're football fans like we are, this is all weekend long is playoff football, so it's not anything I'm going to watch for the next couple weeks. So
yeah,
we'll see. Okay, that's really it for news. I mean, there's little stuff, but that's kind of what matters right now, I think.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna head off to the halftime show, brought to you by our patrons over on patreon.com/DizListPod. When we get back from the break, we're going to talk about the things that we think make or break your trip to Walt Disney World. Welcome back. One thing I just realized is that now that we have this, like the Riverside thing, and I put up the video and it plays, whatever, does that mean you've got to send me the audio so I can randomly insert it for you sometimes? You know what audio I'm talking about? The can opener. The can opener. Yeah. Anyway, so this half of the show, we're going to talk about the things that make or break your trip to Walt Disney World, and there are a few. This week, we're not really going to go back and forth with a top 5, and I don't think that there's really any reason to order these, so to speak. This is a list that we both have come up with. I think this is more of an advice thing. It's an evergreen show, if you will, that you can come back to. Some of this stuff might be dependent on how Disney works right now, but for the most part, it's not. It's stuff that even in the future you could come back to and be like, oh, okay, I've got to be careful about this. So why don't you go ahead and you want to start us off here with something that you think makes or breaks your trip?
Well, I think for me, the very first one I came up with, and this was the easiest, is weather. And for most people, I mean, we just talked about Disney in the summer. It can be extreme heat, and that can really be hard for some people, depending on how sensitive you are to the heat. Or you could, and if you are sensitive to the heat, like the members in my family are, you just plan ahead and you alternate doing indoor and outdoor things, or you try to do rides that don't have a lot of exterior cues, like Epcot doesn't have a lot of cues that are outside. But I want to also talk about the flip side of that too, is my most recent trip was the coldest weather I've ever had at Disney World, and that was 46 degrees. So I've been at Disney at 46, that's my lowest, and then the highest temperature probably over 100. But you've said before on the show, and you're absolutely right, that once it gets to a certain temperature, like let's say it's 88 and above, it's just awful and hot. I mean,
once it's hot,
we like to call it gets spicy. We call it spicy hot. Anything above that is just it's kind of the same, right? 46 is a little bit different. So when we went, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing for us. It didn't make, for some people, living in Western New York like we do, we're used to a frozen tundra all the time. We're one of the areas that gets the most snow here in Western New York. So for us, we were prepared. We had fleece and sweatshirt and coat, so it didn't break the trip for us. But this girl in line who was in front of us, who was just wearing this like tank top and I call them the volleyball shorts. She was sitting there like freezing, and that definitely is going to break the trip for her because she wasn't prepared with the right clothes to wear. Also with weather, I've told this story a million times too, is we were there during a hurricane. So last summer when we went, I think it was last summer or the summer before, I mean, the palm trees were like curved and sideways. And I mean, I sent you video of it. The water, we were walking through water that was not quite a foot high, but very, very tall water, and it wouldn't drain fast enough. So being there during a hurricane could also break your trip as well. Last part, and then I'll move on because I know I'm saying a lot here, but it's a big one. Weather can also make your trip. So the first half of our trip when we were there this past time, 78 degrees. I'm a jeans guy. I love around walking in jeans and a t-shirt or Roosevelt shirt and just, like wearing my Bills hat around. It was so comfortable. It was so great. So the weather really made our trip that first half. So again, I know that was a lot, but I'm trying to cover all the bases when it comes to weather. You want to throw anything in that I may have missed?
No, I think you touched on something that actually leads me to one of mine, which is the whole, you said clothing. And really, what can make or break your trip is like your comfort level because of the clothes you packed, right? You and I'm not at all making fun of you or trying to.
You can, and I know you're going to, so do it.
The like shoe wear, right? Or footwear, right?
Yeah.
You had an experience in Disneyland where you had the wrong shoes. It just is what it is, right? You had the wrong shoes.
Yep.
Look, I love our Bull Airs. I love Tom. He sent, he hooks us up a lot, and we've got some really cool shoes from Tom. But I don't know that I would want to go and walk 12 miles in them. You know what I mean? They're comfortable, but they're not
high tops. No, the low tops are a little easier.
Yeah, the low tops aren't too bad. Yeah. But I'm not. The high tops are just
heavy.
Right. I still don't know that I want to go to Epcot and do a full day around the World Showcase with them, because you just have to know, right? So making and breaking your trip could be like, know what's comfortable for you. Don't buy a brand new pair of shoes and show up with them. They've got to be broken in. Don't buy like some of the t-shirts, right, that Disney sells. They're nice, but like if you know this brand, you'll get what I'm saying. If you're wearing a Comfort Colors shirt in Disney in the summer, you're gonna die, because that's
heavy.
That's a thick, heavy t-shirt. It's a really, really nice shirt, but it's too heavy for Disney. You need something
great
like
shirt for people in the north. Yes.
Yeah. You need a shirt like a Bella and Canvas or something that's a little lighter, or you need like the Kunu Flex stuff from Roosevelt's. So making and breaking your trip. You mentioned weather. Well, on the flip side of that is if you wear or have the right clothing to go with that weather, I think you'll be better off. So that's one of mine is what did you pack? That can make or break your trip. So
right. And for me, as a bald guy, I have to wear a hat. Okay.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And and part of that too is sun exposure, and I'm very fair skinned. I have red hair, so I'm a lot of Irish blood, despite the fact that my last name is Italian. I'm very much Irish. I need to wear the right hat, but if I'm wearing, like my heavy wool Yankees hat, or I have a couple Bills hats that are like that, I sweat like crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm actually wearing one right now. If you wear one of those, what's the material on those, Nick? Those, it's like the breathable, what is it?
Yeah,
I don't probably know. I'm literally wearing it right now.
I don't know what the material is, but I know exactly what you mean. The hats are generally like they're
nylon.
Like well, they are nylon, yeah, but they're like they're like self-cooling, if you will. So yeah, I agree with you that those hats are better to wear than, like you say, like a New Era hat that's a wool, like true baseball cap or something like that. So
the trucker ones are not bad either, because they have kind of that mesh in the back.
Yeah, my problem with those is it get burned through them.
So I was going to end with that too. Is whenever I'm wearing, and I've worn the trucker hats to the parks before too, but I'll put on the back of my head, I'll make sure I get sunscreen there too. But yeah, so I mean that's a good one. So whether the appropriate clothing, I mean you cross over the two with having a raincoat. One time you and I went together, you guys, our families met up, and you had your raincoats on. I looked at you and like you'd have to bleep out on our podcast what I really said out loud. I was like, oh blank, where we left them back at the hotel room. We're like, we'll be fine. Guess what? We weren't fine.
No, I mean we were halfway across the lagoon on the boat, and it was like, buckle up, buddy. And then we had to run to get underneath we had to run to get underneath the train station. So,
and we were soaked, but it was a lot of fun. It was our first night there together. And again, these are memories, I'm never going to forget. Just us waiting in the train station and watching the water rush through. And I have memories of your kids and all the funny stuff that we did. I have a really good picture that I took that is, I put the camera right down in the ground so you can see the reflection of Cinderella's castle. I don't know if I ever sent that to you. It's a really good one. I should frame that. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. I know exactly which one you're talking about. So what's next that you have?
Crowds that can make or break your trip. Yeah, so crowds. Again, we did some great accidental setup in the first half of the show. We were talking about the crowds, and you had studied that. So I'm actually going to hand it back to you here in a second. But this Christmas trip, can it make or break? Sure. Like if you are not a regular at Disney World and you don't go every year and you want to have the collect 'em all mentality that I do sometimes when I go to the parks. Collect 'em all means you want to do every attraction, or you want to do every ride, or you want to get every snack. We weren't really able to do that at all during Christmas time, but I knew that going in. I knew that it was going to be that crazy. So like, even if you wanted to go and experience Festival of the Holidays, despite the rides, the lines are long. We had a couple things that we wanted to hit that we knew were gluten-free. We're a gluten-free family. Members have celiac disease. We were so excited. My wife and my mother wanted the turkey dinner, which is a big hit, and a lot of the different creators say how much they like the turkey dinner at the US Pavilion. We got back there and it was sold out. So again, crowds are having the effect on a lot of the things. So, special food, or you not getting on your favorite ride. But then on the flip side, Nick, I'll have you talk about what it's like with lower crowds.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there in the summer sometimes where it's really low. I think the lowest, we were there in the first week of August in 2021, I believe it was, which was a high travel year. But we were there on the Monday, Tuesday of the week where Florida, Georgia, so the southern states had went back to school. Okay. The crowds were gone. It was remarkable. You're not waiting for rides. I mean, it's never not crowded. It's never not people, but it was much more enjoyable. So I would say that when you have a chance to go in a low crowd time, it can really make your trip much better because you can get a lot more done in a lot less time. I mean, you can still get a lot done quickly. That's why, like, for instance, I always say, go to Animal Kingdom, rope drop it, because people might not be rope dropping that part. Do your thing. Like if you want to go and do Africa and do that area first, like, and then go over maybe and hit up Everest and stuff like that, you're going to be walking on those rides. Not so much with Flight of Passage, but you're going to be walking on to those other rides. And so it can really make your trip much better. It really can. Like you said, on the flip side, when it's super crowded, like that's where you'll find me over at Baseline Tap House being like, yeah, I got to have a beer. Like I just got to get out of it. I get that it's 10:30, but I got to have a drink.
But to be fair, this last trip, even though it was mega crowded, we had a blast. Like, we knew that we couldn't do everything, and we sort of rode the wave. Okay, I think surfing is my best metaphor here. You don't know if you're going to get a huge wave or you're going to get a medium or a small wave. So we just rode it, and we went where the wave took us. And if the crowd, it was like, for example, we got to Magic Kingdom, waits were all out of control, and we opened the app and we took a look, and we got in the People Mover. It was a walk on, and it said 10-minute wait. So let's go. We went straight through it, and you wouldn't have expected really anything to be a wait that short. And then from there, we go with the flow and we see what's open, and honestly, we kind of go by. We had multi-pass. We had Lightning Lane multi-pass, and we just kind of did whatever opened up, and we rolled with it. So
yeah,
I'll hand it to you for your next one, which I know kind of leads into this. And isn't one of them planning, or no?
Well, one of the ones I was going to say is knowing yourself and knowing your body.
That was it.
That has to do with crowds too, is being aware of, like, look, if you have a kid with you, if you have an older adult with you, No, like it can make or break it if you try to push beyond the limit, right? So knowing your limitations, you said it perfectly. Like we knew we weren't going to get everything. We knew we weren't going to do everything. And so because we knew that, it was easier for us to, as you said, ride that wave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what you have to do is recognize your body, what the messages that it's telling you, like, hey, you've been walking for 6 hours and you're done. Like you need to stop. Go back to the hotel. It's okay. I get for some people it's their one and only trip. And I get for some people like they're only doing Magic Kingdom one day, so they're trying to do it all. You're going to have much better memories if you leave something out than if you try to have a memory of every single thing. You know what I mean? You'll have better memories of the limited things you do if you limit yourself to what your body can handle and what your group can handle than if you try to push. But yeah, we need to get on, I don't know, I'll use Haunted Mansion. We really need to get on Haunted Mansion. You don't need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, and will I ever not be on Haunted Mansion? No, but I'm going to prioritize that at a different time of day. You know what I mean? Like, if it's 8:30 at night and you're dying and your party is just like, let's go home, let's go back to the hotel, do it, because it's going to be much better. So knowing, for me, making and breaking your trip could be just knowing your body, listening to your body, listening to your children or your parents if you bring an elderly parent with you, just recognizing those things and knowing when to call it quits.
Or when you get to a certain age and you go on the teacups and you realize, I can't do this anymore. Nick and I rode the teacups together, and we sat down at the teacup and we grabbed the thing in the middle. We looked at each other dead in the face and we're like, if you spin this thing, I am going to kill you. And Nick looks back at me and goes, no, I'm going to kill you if you spin. So we're both so nervous that we're going to get sick because we knew as soon as we spin that thing, the rest of the day, our eyes are going to be like, our brains are going to be scrambled in our head. So here's the point here. We did it, but we stared at each other. It was like we have this shoulder.
Yeah, there's a great
showdown.
We have a great picture of us riding it, and it's fun. You know what I mean? The whole idea.
And we look over at our sons, and what were our sons doing?
Going as fast as they possibly could. And that probably would have been us at their age. Really,
I know
it would have been us at their age.
Yeah.
My brother and I did it with. Well, it was me, my brother, and my sister-in-law. Those teacups are not big. And my brother and I are not small human beings. And we threw my sister-in-law in there as well. And like, he's looking at me the same way. Like, don't spin this thing. I'm like, you ain't got to worry about me. Like, talk to your wife, because I'm not spinning this thing. But yeah,
I know your sister-in-law. She can be a troublemaker sometimes too.
Yeah, she could probably spin that pretty hard too, because she's strong.
She's very strong.
Yeah, she's a power lifter. So, like I said, knowing your body, knowing your limits. But I didn't even think about the fact of knowing your limits for the rides. But like, if you're somebody who gets motion sickness, don't go and get on Mission Space. You know what I mean? Or if you're somebody who, I don't know, maybe gets really scared easily, don't go ride Tower of Terror. Or if your kid is, don't force them to do something. Like the number of times you see people, oh no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, wait till that kid tries to climb out of that roller coaster. Because Slinky Dog is not just a little kid coaster. You know, good. It's Toy Story. No. Barnstormer.
It's intense.
Is scary for kids. Like then you go on to Toy Story as a Slinky Dog. So then you also have, I thought you had one more, right?
I do. I have one more, and this is what can make or break your trip is your favorite ride being down, or what would make the trip, and the opposite is that favorite ride reopening. So let's use Thunder Mountain. Okay. Yep. Thunder Mountain is a lot of people's favorite ride. It's my daughter's number one favorite ride. I love it too. When we did our March Madness before, that was one of the rides that was at the very, very top, right? Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, it was. Yes, correct.
So with Thunder Mountain being down, can that be very difficult for a kid who that's their favorite ride? Well, sure. Can it break the whole trip? Maybe if you don't know going in that it's closed, that could be really tough for a kid who knows, I want to ride, we'll use Haunted Mansion, right? I want to go to Magic Kingdom and Haunted Mansion's my favorite ride. And they get up there and it says refurbishment and you can't, it's closed. Like that's very difficult for a kid. So if you're listening to this as a parent, please go on and take a look, and their schedule is posted somewhere. I've seen it before. I know it exists. look at the schedule, make sure that if one of the rides is closed, you let the young ones know so they're prepared before you arrive.
Yeah. And flip side, like, you want to know too, like, because there are times when you're, you know, like, if I really, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go ride Tron, and I show up and there's no Tron. Or imagine if you didn't know that they had refurbished, or they were refurbing Country Bears, right? And that was like your big thing. And you show up and it's like, Country Bears is closed, sorry. Or Tom Sawyer Island, right? You know, oh, I have all these memories going to Tom. I can't wait to bring you over to Tom Sawyer Island. You show up and like, sorry, it's gone.
There's nothing there now.
Yeah.
It was so weird. It was so weird to see.
So yeah, you do need to know like what the schedule is of things, and whether or not it's open. But like you said, on the flip side, you know, I'm going this summer. I could find out a week before. Hey, guess what? They're opening up Rock and Roller Coaster, and it's refurbished.
And that would be a make your trip. Yeah, absolutely.
That would 100% make my trip. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or like, you know, Big Thunder is going to be open. So like for me, like that's going to be great because I'm going to get to experience those things. Soaring around America. Yeah, Buzz. Soaring around America. Those things are all going to be open, and that's going to make my trip special. So I agree with you that it can make or break your trip.
You know, one last one.
I'm trying to think here. We already talked about weather.
Mm-hmm.
There was something I didn't write it down.
I thought it was planning too much. I thought that was one of the ones. If you over plan, it could break.
Over planning. That kind of goes with my last one, is over planning and not really paying attention to the needs of your party, which is kind of like the last one. But over planning was a big one. But it can make or break, because if you don't plan, you're really in trouble.
Yeah.
And I know people who do that. Who are like, oh, I'm just going to go to Disney. You're just going to go to Disney. You have a friend. we have a friend of the show. Okay. Who, like, when he goes, he just goes. And I kind of felt like because he messaged me at one point and was like, oh, I'm doing this. I was like, you can't do that. Like, that doesn't, like, your hotel doesn't have that perk. And like for him, it wasn't big. He just switched what hotel he was going to, which is, I wish I had that kind of flexibility. But
yeah.
Like, I feel like he doesn't plan not in a negative way, but I feel like for him, it's like, yeah, I can do it because I'm going to ride the wave. But if you're somebody who, like, riding the wave isn't like your jam, you better plan. Mm-hmm. You better know what's going on. Like, I've been, like, my mom one time was like, they keep, like, my sister-in-law keeps talking about going to Disney, want to take the family to Disney. I try to explain to her, like, it's not like what you remember when you were a kid. And she's like, oh, it's just Disney. It's the same. And I was like, yeah, that's the kind of people who go back and then never return. And the people that went with them never return, because it's an awful experience. So over planning can be bad because you packed too much into your day. But over planning can also make your trip, because if you don't plan, you're not going to have, in my opinion, not going to have as good of a trip as you could. And I joke around that the friend of the show is like, not planning. He's planned because he had the plans. Like, and he does his research. He listens to the show. I mean, he's doing research. But my point is more like, I feel like he's the kind of person that is okay with, like, okay, I didn't really think this through. It didn't work out, but oh well, like, we'll do this instead. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can just go with the flow like that. I would be losing my mind if I showed up and I was like not planned and didn't know tomorrow we're doing this. Today we're eating here. Like, I couldn't imagine waking up and being like, I don't know, where do you want to eat today? We'll figure it out in the park. What? Like, I can't imagine that. Like, for me, if I, like, at the very least, I know, okay, I'm eating quick service and I'm going to be in this part of the park during it. So it's either going to be like, maybe I'm going to go to Mexico and get stuff there, or I'm going to, you know, like, I don't know, for instance, where I'm going to eat at Epcot this time around, but I do know that, like, one of the days we're doing is like just getting snacks around the world. Like, we're going to eat around the world. Instead of drink around the world, we're going to eat around the world. And it's going to be like a fun little thing. Like, hey guys, do you see something you want to eat? Get it. Like, giving your kids permission to do that. And that's still planning, right? But if you're over planned and like, okay, we're going to have breakfast at Garden Grill, and then we're going to have lunch at Beer Garden, and then we're going to have dinner over at the Yachtsman. Well, you're over planned. Like, you're going to eat too much. You're going to not feel good. And each one of those table service restaurants takes a minimum of an hour. You're taking 3 hours minimum out of your day right there. Like,
well,
that's
and
what we're planned.
the other part of that too is when you're making a reservation, let's say you have reservation in Canada, that's what, Le Cellier, is that the name of that steakhouse?
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
Let's say you have a reservation there, but you also get Lightning Lane Multipass, and the only time that you could get, let's say, frozen, because that's on the opposite side, the only time you can get frozen is like right before 6:00, and you have a 6:00 meal there. Part of that is if you make too many, like, I mean, you could make that work. Okay, you could definitely make that work, and there's flexibility.
If you make too many plans, it could doom you 100%.
It could. Yeah,
I agree with you.
And then and then you're missing out on what you can do and taking advantage of those lightning lanes because all of your other plans are dictating where you have to be when. It's so much harder.
I know we're running a little bit long, but I do have one more I wanted to at least mention, because we do have some of these people that are listeners. But something that can make or break your trip, and generally they make it, are cast members. Cast members can make or break your trip. And rarely is it a break, right? Occasionally it's something like, maybe something with your room didn't go through, and so the cast member, but they make your trip. They really can. When you get a chance, if something good's happened, you really should drop a cast compliment. The interactions you have with PhotoPass people, the people you see greeting you when you walk into an Epcot pavilion, what are they called? The international, but you know what I mean? Like the people who, basically, I'm going to call them ambassadors, because might as well be what they are. But they're from that nation, and it's like they do such a great job. They can make even like custodial staff who's sweeping up leaves into the shape of Mickey Mouse, or painting with their broom with water, painting a Mickey or a Goofy or a Minnie. Like those things. I want
to do that job.
I mean, like, honestly, like they really do make your trip better. So it's kind of like an honorable mention, because they don't really break your trip ever, but they do make it. So thank you to all the cast members. We do have a few.
That's a perfect one to end on.
Yeah, we do have a few that listen. So I want to make sure they knew that they make our trips better.
Have you done the cast compliment before? I've done it quite a few times. It's very easy to do. Yeah.
I mean, I've done it for bus drivers, I've done it for
So listeners, if you haven't done this before, if you have a great exchange with a cast member, look at their name tag. It'll have their name, and then below it, it's optional if you put where they're from, but usually that goes right below. And when you go into the My Disney Experience app or the Disney World app, whichever you want to call it, you kind of go into that last page. I call it the pancakes, where it has the 3 lines. You hit that button and go to the bottom, and that's where you'll see there's like a help button, and then you can see cast compliment there, and that's where you would go in and plug that in. So
yeah, I mean,
it's important.
They're great. They're some of them are not. I mean, a lot of them are not making very good money, and they still are amazing customer service. They're great people. But guys, thank you so much for listening. If you want to join on for more stuff, we record 2 episodes a week. Actually, you can head over to patreon.com/DisLessPod. Join the family over there. That's a lot of fun. We have mini episodes. You can get a mug after a few months of membership, stuff like that. But it's a good time, and if you do that, make sure you drop your name to me for your Instagram handle. I'll add you to our close friends. We try to post some stuff onto our close friends story when we're in the parks. We'll go live just to our close friends at times. But yeah, join us over there for the discussion. You got anything to add, Rob?
Yeah, for Patreon, my last trip, I went in and dumped a ton of photos from the trip into our Patreon for our Patreon members. So there's little perks that we give. Plus, I often have people say to me, "I just joined Patreon. I had no idea that you did a second show." I'm like, "Well, yeah, Nick mentions it every week," and they're like, it didn't click that I can now listen to 2 shows every week because I'm
there's
commuting,
130,
and I just need right. And I had what was the other comment that I got was it was a really nice compliment. Is that I think this was a review left somewhere. It was like, Rob and Nick keep that Disney magic alive year round, and that's why I like listening to the show. I thought that was really special too, because that's our goal, is to keep in the forefront of everybody's mind how great the parks are, and keep that feeling. So between that and watching YouTube, that's what keeps me going. So
absolutely,
that's kind of where I'll end here.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow is just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.